Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I don't know, maybe the big news that came out of yesterday's availability with Coach McGuire was the health of Baron Morton. He said yesterday that Baron's the guy if he's healthy. He acknowledged that he's pretty sore. He said there's nothing structurally wrong with his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder. I think they had feared, and probably kind of based on your history with quarterbacks and this particular injury, they'd, I think, feared that there would be something wrong with the collarbone, a crack or a break or something along those lines. He said, and usually what a coach will say is, well, if there's a game today, he'd play. Okay? That's usually what a coach says. He said he wouldn't say he would play he would say he wouldn't want to play a football game today if they were playing. They haven't ruled out playing Will Hammond, and they'll take all four quarterbacks to Iowa State with them. Remember, they can take just a limited number of players on the road to Big 12 games. So that would include Cameron Brown and Jake Strong, in addition to Will Hammond and Baron Morton. So they'll obviously get him some reps. They plan on practicing him today and tomorrow, and then kind of see where it is from there.
Yeah, it feels like this is a situation where if you're the Red Raiders, you don't want to give Iowa State, you don't want to give it away to Iowa State what is happening. So I'm sure they'll keep it close to the vest, so to speak, as to whether or not he'll be able to play. I'm not surprised to hear Coach say that if he's healthy, he would go with Baron. I just think that the situation, as far as them being more confident in veteran players, I think that's kind of the MO of this team, of what we've seen in the past. So that doesn't surprise me at all. But I think I'll be really shocked if we get done with Saturday afternoon's game and we haven't seen Will Hammond take at least some snaps.
Okay. He did say this. They were all, he and Coach Zach Kitley were, and then I think anybody that saw the game too, they were, complimentary of what Will Hammond did. I mean, starts the quarter and second half, and goes out and goes bing, 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 bing. You get a couple of touchdowns, and you're feeling pretty good about things. He said that one of the things that really helped Hammond was during the spring, because of the shutdown to Baron Morton. I'd kind of forgotten about this, to be honest with you, that he got a lot of snaps with the ones. And so, those guys had a lot of confidence in him because of the amount of time that they spent with him during spring ball, and the amount of time during, whether it's the fall or the summer. He said it's not unusual to find him in the indoor facility early in the morning or late at night or on a Friday, throwing to whomever wants to catch balls. He described him as a football junkie, and as a guy that has a deep desire to win and to be successful and to be great. And I mean, it's all the things that you want to hear. And I'm sure a lot of those guys over there have some of those same traits. It's just when you're QB1 and you're trying to be that, then that certainly kind of helps make a difference. So that's something that maybe kind of keep an eye on as the week goes on. He was described as a unique person, very serious about being great, wants to be great, has a big arm, can run, and I think we all saw that. And it's another thing for us to say it, but for your coach to say, bright future.
I think in different years we would think differently. For example, when Baron got hurt last year and you knew that Jake Strong was going to have to start a game on the road at BYU, I think there was definitely a feeling of, oh man, we're really behind the eight ball here. I mean, he's a young guy. It's just you're putting him in a tough spot. I think there's something a little bit different about Will Hammond. I think personally, I'm a lot more confident than I was going into that game at BYU last year, as far as confident in him being able to execute the offense and make all the throws and all that good stuff. I'm not confident in the game itself going on the road to Iowa State. That's a different deal. So I don't feel like there's a major drop off if you have to make that step. The one thing that does worry me is we've seen this cloud coverage that Iowa State is known for cause even the best of Red Raider quarterbacks confusion and struggles. And, is this, if you're giving the young man his first ever start, is on the road at Iowa State the best place? And the answer to that is no, it's not. So I would worry about that a little bit, the team that you're playing and the secondary, the things that they do to disguise their coverage and fool quarterbacks. I mean, even guys like Patrick Mahomes had struggles throwing against this defensive backfield. So, but I just don't feel like there's if at some point on Saturday we find out Barron can't go, it's you're going to see Will start. I don't think Red Raider fans are like now we have no chance. I don't think they're going to go that route.
I think you're right about that. And I think Saturday what we saw there in Fort Worth kind of okay, well.
Yeah, and it's the same thing you saw. It's the same thing you saw against North Texas. I mean, he was impressive there too. Yeah. He just did it against obviously a better, higher level of competition with a Big 12 foe. But either way, it's still really impressed with the young man's talent and his moxie and all that he's got there. It's just a matter of him getting more experience.
Yeah, get some reps in. They list 10 as questionable for Iowa State, but Coach McGuire said yesterday that he expects all 10 of those guys to be available.
Man, you need those defensive backs bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
And, on that defensive back list is Devin Cromwell, Mo Horn, Chapman Lewis, Braylon Lux. So, yeah.
I think the injuries to the defense, seems like we've talked about the edge rusher injuries. I think the injuries in the defensive backfield have been even more important or detrimental to your team than those guys up front.
Yeah, crucial to your success or lack thereof.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is October 29th, 2024. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
All right. Going to try to be better today than we were yesterday. I was not good at this yesterday. Reading is hard. 1942, Branch Rickey named president and general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. That would work out well.
Well, he's definitely famous for bringing Jackie Robinson on board, so he definitely deserves some credit for that.
And then they won, too.
1950, Detroit Lions' Wally Triplett achieves a kickoff return yardage of 294 yards against the Los Angeles Rams. It is the second highest in a single game in NFL history. That's a lot of kickoff returns. Or just like three really long ones.
True.
Chuck's going to look it up now, so we'll get the actual number here in a minute.
Well, I'm just curious who's number one.
Chuck's going to look it up now, so we'll find out.
You're number one.
In your heart.
Chuck's number one.
1969, Tom Seaver voted the National League Cy Young Award winner. 1988, Texas Tech counters Texas 18-point third quarter with an 18-point fourth quarter, making a 2-point play on its final touchdown in a 33-32 win. (1994), Zebby Lethbridge throws 3 touchdown passes, and Texas Tech's defense earned 6 sacks and a safety. Well, that'd be fun. In a 33-9 upset win over number 19 Texas. And in 2016, Patrick Mahomes scrambled for 15 yards for a touchdown in the first overtime, and Clayton Hatfield kicked a 37-yard field goal in the second overtime, and Texas Tech beat TCU 27-24. It's National Oatmeal Day.
Have you had yours today?
I haven't. I don't have any oatmeal. Well, I do. It's at home. I just didn't bring it here to I've still got breakfast bars and crackers that I'm going through right now. It's in rotation. Happy birthday to Winona Ryder, who's 53. Gabrielle Union, 52. Randy Jackson, 63. Richard Dreyfuss, 77. Andy Dalton, 37. And R.A. Dickey is 50.
Wow. Remember, he was pitching.
Wasn't that long ago.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. He's a knuckleballer, so those guys those guys tend to last longer. Right.
Yeah. And on this day, Black Tuesday hits Wall Street on October 29th, 1929. As investors trade 16,410,030 shares on the New York Stock Exchange in a single day. Billions of dollars were lost, wiping out thousands of investors, and stock ticketers ran hours behind because the machinery could not handle the tremendous volume of trading. In the aftermath of Black Tuesday, America and the rest of the industrialized world spiraled downward into the Great Depression. And it had nothing to do with Texas Tech losing to TCU. And that is this day in sports history.
All right, that means it's time for your lucky local winning word from Double T 97.3 in the home zone. We're giving away $10,000 this fall to lucky local listeners like you. It's a local contest. All you have to do to get signed up is go to doublet973.com, and you could have your opportunity to win weekly cash every Wednesday, which is tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. It is a local deal. We'll give away $2,500 to end this thing on December the 5th, which is a Thursday. So we're into sports terms, and this is maybe good for today for one team to not do or another team to have a team do it so that they capitalize on it, Jamie. On this, the 29th day of October at 6:49 and some change, error is your word. Error.
Error.
Error is your word. ERROR. Error. So go to doublet973.com, enter that in, and your info, and you could win from us and the Home Zone, making your house a home every single day but Sunday over at 50th in Indiana. Okay, so return yardage in a game goes to, man, they keep changing this. What is the record for returns? Kick returns. Kick return yards. I had this right here. Okay. Tyrone Hughes did it for the Saints. I believe the Saints against the Rams on October 23rd, 1994. 304 yards. That's an awful lot.
Sure is.
Yeah, that is awful lot. So anyway, so that kind of wraps that up. Syntax Hank sent this in a little while ago from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Longtime Tech fans will almost always be critical of offense because we're used to defense struggling, but not the offense being conservative. Well, and I think you've said this numerous times, and others have as well. You know, we all think we know more about offense, and defense is always a little bit more confusing. It's not as sexy. So, you know, we all feel like, we know what we're doing up there in the stands as an offensive coordinator, right? Yeah,
I just think as a typical football fan, and I think Choice made a really good point last week to me about this. He's like, it's also because of the video games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I just think it's easy as a typical sports fan or football fan to watch a game and be able to think to yourself, oh, man, we should do this here, or we should do that thing.
You're never scheming the defense in your head.
Yeah, you're probably not. Or if you're on defense, you're thinking, oh, man, they better be ready for the pass here. They better be ready for the run. Right. Your team's on defense.
Right.
You know, so those are the things that are easy for us common fans to look at compared to, you know, why were you in a, 3-4 instead of a 4-3, or why were you cover 2 or whatever.
Yeah, why aren't you loading the box here? You know, all those kinds of things. You know, are we shooting the gap right? You know, all those things. You know, all those.
Any other terms you know?
Those are good ones.
Didn't say they were bad.
Yeah,
they were good.
Pressuring the quarterback.
Hey, there it is. What else?
You know,
spin move.
Swim technique.
Swim technique. Yeah. How about prevent defense? You know, all those.
Or prevent offense.
Yeah.
4 corners. Heard that a lot yesterday.
I think what we saw on Saturday.
4 corners. Okay.
4 corners. Because they separate the
basketball.
That's basketball.
No. They were talking about it yesterday where they. Was it 4 zone? Was it 4?
No, I know what you're
cover 4.
No, it wouldn't cover 4.
No,
it was basically a zone defense where these guys need to stay in their 4 corners.
There's a couple guys, that ask questions and they want to just show off their football knowledge,
like we just did.
And instead of asking simple questions that we all understand to get a simple response that everybody can understand, they've got to, prove that they've watched film and analyzed things and stuff like that, and then the coaches acknowledge that. Oh yeah, you're exactly right about that.
He may or may not be talking about David Collier.
I'm not talking about David Collier. He asked.
I said he may or may not.
He asked very sensible, to the point questions that are good for all the common man. Okay.
He did. He showed off his versatility and stuck around for the baseball press conference yesterday and asked questions there too. Okay. Asked one of them at least, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck didn't make that far.
I had another thing I had to go to. I had other business to attend to. Sorry. I had to
take baseball not important, Jamie. It's fine.
You paint me into that corner, right?
Easy do.
So going to the press conference yesterday, the baseball press conference yesterday, and before I arrive downstairs, standing outside are the baseball sports information director and the head baseball coach. Mm-hmm. And the 3 of us just kind of stood there and chatted for a few minutes, and we had heard it was testy down below in the football press conference. So the 3 of us are like, I think Coach Sadlock said, would it be okay if I just sat here on the back of this golf cart and we just do this here? We didn't want to go down where it was all serious with the football talk.
Yeah, it was a little serious, but I mean, when you're 5-3 and you've lost 2 in a row, it gets a little serious. Yeah, it's a little no pressure right now for Coach Tadlock.
Coach Tadlock gets a little bit lucky in that he doesn't ever have to deal with the angry amount of media members that Coach McGuire has to deal with.
I don't think anybody was.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Right now is 4th and 3 on the 6. If you score right there, the game's probably over. You're up 17. And we've been extremely aggressive. We have not been as good on 4th down as what we were, especially year 1. And so my thought process, kick the field goal right here. Now they have to score 2 touchdowns to beat us. And us getting the ball back and just the amount of time, I felt good that they were going to have a hard time doing that. They didn't, because we gave up 14 points in like 4 plays. So going fast forward and back to yours is I felt like the way they were going to play that, because we were in field goal range, is that they were going to try to beat us with a field goal. They have kicking issues. And so that was our mindset of like, if we can get this kick here, then we're going to be able to defend enough to where we're going to be able to keep them out of field goal range or an easy chip shot. Even with that, they've had kicking issues.
And he said yesterday that the call to kick there was his call, that he made that decision, to kick the field goal.
Isn't it always the head coach's decision?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what their chain of command is in terms of how that you could say that it's always the head coach's decision, but I mean sometimes
well, I'm sure others weigh in on it, absolutely, but it's I mean I would have always guessed it was always.
That's I'm not breaking any news there, but just I think he just wanted to make that clear. So I tell you that what was going through my mind, because sometimes with these decisions, as you're sitting there in the stands or I'm watching it or I'm listening to it, I try to make a decision in my head going, okay, flash forward to Monday or Tuesday or whatever the next day is with regard to these decisions. I try to say to myself, okay, I'm good with this or I'm not good with this, so that I can speak about it when we recap the game. at that particular time, in my head, I signed off on this going, hey, you go up by 13, you get a little bit more of a lead. They've got to score 2 touchdowns. There's 11-13 to go. That's what was going through my head. Now, did I think we were going to give up 2 touchdowns, boom, boom, like that? No, I didn't. Nobody did. Or you probably would have gone for it on 4th down and going, hey, okay, here we go. We got to score a touchdown here and put as many points on the board as possible. So that was what was going through my mind.
I don't know if this question has been asked this week by any of us talking heads or not, but you had 3 sacks in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
What changed? Well, why did we not have any in the second half?
Or even the tackles for losses, because you had tackles for losses as well.
What changed there? Was that an adjustment that TCU made, or was that a change that we made? Well, once we got up 17, we pulled the pressure back.
I don't know, because he said if he had it to do over again, and with regard to covering the pass, late in the ball game, and here he can speak to this here in just a second, that if they had to do it over again, he would have applied less pressure, and gone and dropped 8 and just sent 3. And here's Coach McGuire on covering the pass late.
If you go back to the last play, you have a linebacker that should come free, and he chose to run down the middle of the running back, which has been one of our issues of not getting pressure. And that's a mixture of technique and coaching. And then on that same play, they throw back shoulder, Macho loses him, and the free safety, who's got an opportunity to get the ball down, if you watch it, thinks that Macho's going to get him down, so he slows up and then has to regather. It's almost like the play last year when Kansas has that long run to score. Rabbit does the same thing. He thinks that Jordan Sanford's going to get him down, and so he starts slowing down and has to regather, and that guy's already there. Where I think we made a huge mistake with a 13-point lead is, and we have it, we've done it, is now instead of worrying about pressure, giving them looks to, hey, you're going to have to drive the ball, drop 8, protect your corners, play Tampa 2, which we've done. You still can give up big plays in that, which we have, and people do it every week. But, whenever you're bringing pressure like we did on that last play, you're leaving your corner on an island and they hit a home run.
So it doesn't really address your question, but he feels like that. It sounded. He said he basically feels like they should have rushed 3 and dropped 8 and played more and helped out your defensive backs more than what they were doing.
Yeah, I'm not saying for certain that you pulled back. I'm not. I mean, maybe TCU decided to keep an extra tight end in to help with protection or whatever. I'm not really sure. I'm just saying you were doing such a great job of that in the first half. Mm-hmm. Super excited about it, and then it just went away. Went away.
It's funny because he said one of the things that he said yesterday is he said he felt like there was a lack of discipline more in the first quarter and those 14 points that they gave up right away than the 14 that they gave up in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. In terms of not acknowledging that, that they had the Wildcat in there and adjusting for that, and then, giving up the big play to him. Here is one last thing from Coach McGuire: the call at the end of the game of going and having Will Hammond run the ball into the line.
Whenever it comes to the call, it is a quarterback power. It is one of our staples. Y'all have seen us run it the last 3 years a lot with all the quarterbacks. I mean, if you go back, I bet we ran it 8 times in the first half against Oregon, with Tyler Shuck. And again, if it was a guy that didn't have the ability to run, we probably don't run it. It's easy to say, hey, let's put it in Taj's hand if we are in field goal range. But we felt good about the play. That was one play in a run schematically that could have picked up the first down because you gain an extra hat with Taj. So just handing it to Taj the way they were playing it, it was like, hey, maybe he busts it, maybe he doesn't, but we're going to kick it from there. We gained an extra hat with the quarterback power, so we felt like that we had an opportunity, to have a bigger play. The linebacker, 57, did a good job of contact with our tackle and didn't allow Will to follow Taj and come on outside. And so go back and watch that play again, too. We got a fumble, but it's interesting of why he spun.
And he went on to say he didn't want to get fined, but if you go back and look at that play, his face mask got twisted on that play before the fumble. As he was going through the line, his head turns, and it's clear there, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it should have been called because I don't know how many bodies were there between them and the officials, but Will Hammond's helmet twisted, and there was a TCU defender who got his hand in the face mask, and that's why his head turned like it did. So there were 2 face masks that weren't called, one against Caleb Douglas on a ball down the field, and then that one on that play that he ends up fumbling the ball. There was a face mask on that one as well.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right. Not having fun.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not talking about the show. I was having fun, and now I'm not having fun.
You're irritated.
Football.
No, I'm not irritated.
Football was fun. It's not right now.
I'm not irritated. Shocking enough, Chuck. Sports doesn't get me that angry.
Okay.
Yeah, my children's sports do.
Okay. Do you have anything to be angry about them today? Are they?
Not that I know of.
Did you shoot good yesterday?
It's also only 7:32. They got a lot of time to get him angry.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I get sad. I get disappointed. I don't get angry.
Okay.
It's just sports.
You're such a good human.
No, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, absolutely. But, life is... God has blessed me with so many things. If I'm going to get so angry over sports, I need to check myself a little bit.
Do you, when you think about being blessed with things, do you include Jeff and I in that you've been blessed with us?
I absolutely think I'm blessed to have good friends and good coworkers that I enjoy being around.
Okay.
No, you didn't say you and I in there.
I know.
So you guys are that. You guys.
We're in the coworkers. We're in the coworkers. We got coworker
Chuck
status.
has to hear his name.
No. I'm just giving you a hard time.
All right. So here's my question today. You get one word, or if you want to make it a term or a saying,
okay,
just describe how you feel right now. How do you feel right now about Red Raider football?
Oh, about Red Raider football. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's part of me that's excited for Monday and
basketball.
I don't. No offense, Chuck, but this is not about your personal life. How do you feel about Red Raider football?
No, I'm not even talking about my personal life. Let's see. I'm down. I'm down. I'm
like 3 flat tires?
No, somebody says deflated. That's a good word.
Oh man, that's
a great word.
That's really good because that means that you were blown up.
Yeah.
That's a really good word.
Yeah. 2 words would be lost opportunity. But I think that's a good word. I'm just going to steal that, deflated, because I said down first. So I'll stick with down. Jeff,
I'm using the phrase because I need some adjectives for this. Completely and utterly demoralized. Just
demoralized.
As good as things were, as pumped as we were, as ready to go as we were for potential and excitement and enjoyment. And then lay an egg, and then lose when you were winning 31-14.
Yeah, I kind of thought you'd turned it around there in the third quarter a little bit, even with losing your quarterback. I'm like, oh man, it looks like we've kind of found something here. I thought the offense played with more zip and all that kind of stuff. Jamie, what's your one word?
I think I'm just bummed.
bummed. Yeah.
I'm bummed for me. I'm bummed for the entire fan base.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bummed for the coaches and players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bummed for the athletic department and what it was, potentially meaning for us. I'm just bummed for this. I mean, everyone involved, even you can even throw the city into it and the commerce that comes with it and the excitement and people getting out and about and being excited. And it's just, deflated was a really good word because we were all boosted up high, and I do not think we were too high.
No,
I do not think we were too high.
Yeah, I agree.
And it just, the air is definitely gone out of it. And I mean, I think a lot of Red Raider fans are like, okay, on to basketball. And I hate to hear that, and but I understand it. I'm not questioning it.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, for the players and coaches, I mean, they're right there with us and feeling like, hey, we got a chance to do something special. And it's just slipped away. And I don't know, you don't get this opportunity, like you were talking about, missed opportunity every single year.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a good opportunity to do something really fun this year, and now it feels like, oh man, this could be one of the bigger kicks in the gut that we've had in the last 15 years or so, right?
Yeah, and Coach McGuire kind of talked about that a little bit yesterday. He was kind of sharing how, I mean, they're frustrated. They want to win as much as everybody else does. I mean, he was animated, and I realized to say Joey McGuire was animated is like, okay, well, when is he not? But you could see it was more emotion. I think that you could just see what is kind of slipping through their hands, and just the facial expression and the emotion in his voice. And he related a story from a number of years ago when he was at Baylor that, they'd lost a game, and this young assistant coach said, hey, we'll get him in the Big 12 championship next year. And Joey McGuire looked at him and was like, man, I've been coaching for 30 years. You don't know when these opportunities are going to come back again, because it may not come back. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he kind of sees in front of him, like going, man, we had a real opportunity to play. And he said this, we had a real opportunity to play meaningful games. And then he went on to say, well, there's things that we can still accomplish. Haven't won 9 games in a season since 2009. Haven't won 4 consecutive bowl games. But those are somewhat hollow now when you consider what you had and the opportunity
if
before.
you got to 9 wins, it would not be hollow. I think you are really hitting the ball hard this morning if you think you're going to get to 9 wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
if you got to 9 wins, it would not be hollow at all.
Okay.
At all.
I think with what you have left on the schedule, that's more than a fair comment, because of going to Ames and going and playing Colorado and then having to go to Oklahoma State and finishing with West Virginia. Yeah, if you won your last 4 plus the bowl game, that would more than salvage your season. That's a 10-win season.
You wouldn't even have to win the bowl game, and it wouldn't be hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, winning the Shreveport Bowl or the Fort Worth Bowl would be hollow.
Yeah.
But you get to 9 wins, that is not hollow.
And
but that is also extremely unlikely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to ask you a question. I'll save it for after 8 o'clock this morning regarding Tech football and kind of a little what-if scenario.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Come to you this morning from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app for that. The Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. High School Fan Zone tonight at 7 on 100.7. The Score features coaches from Monterey High School and Lubbock High School. Monterey plays Thursday night. Lubbock High plays Friday night. The Plainsmen will be in action on Halloween, and they will take on Abilene. Not the prettiest town I've ever seen. All right. Game 4 of the World Series tonight.
I like Abilene.
Yeah, I was just trying to be funny there. Kind of a take of the, Abilene, prettiest town that I've ever seen. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a dot on the map, kind of like us,
They roll the streets up at night.
We kind of roll ours up at night, too.
No. You can still drive around. There's some things open. Not a lot, but there's some. A lot more than used to have a lot more open. But you could go through Abilene at 10 o'clock at night, and you better bring your flashlight because I think they take the street lights down.
Oh.
With all the colleges they have there?
It is a ghost town at 10 o'clock at night. Ghost town.
How often are you there at 10 o'clock at night, Jeff?
When I've traveled through, it is a ghost town at 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, well, just on the highway there or
Cutting
in the city?
I've driven through it.
Driving the streets of Abilene to kind of inspect.
The dirt they left up after they rolled up the roads, yeah.
You see Jeff in his pick-em-up truck with a little portable searchlight that he's got plugged into a cigarette lighter. He's like, flashing the streets of Abilene to see if anybody's there.
It's really weird. Like I said, they 3 colleges there. You would think that 10 o'clock wouldn't be their shutdown time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't usually hang out there in the evening, so I don't know.
So Game 4 of the World Series tonight. We'll have it at 6 on Double T 97.3. Do the Yankees climb back and force a Game 5, Jamie?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
I mean, I really have no idea.
Well, you're making a prediction.
Yeah. I hope they do.
Yeah.
Really don't want to see them get swept. But
yeah, no, I get you.
Dodgers are just too good.
They're pretty good.
Too good, and the Yankees are not good enough.
Just a random Abilene, not the prettiest town I've ever seen. Chuck, I laughed at that. Thank you. Then we get somebody else that wants to let the facts get in the way of something funny. I'm aware that song is about Abilene, Kansas. Yes, I'm aware. But it's just trying to get a little chuckle out of everybody this morning. Okay?
I didn't know it was about Abilene, Kansas.
You didn't? Mm-mm. Okay, well.
Didn't know.
All right. Well, I mean, there's things that that's pretty odd. The one percenter says that. All right, so you think New York wins tonight?
Guaranteeing it.
Guaranteeing.
Put it in their big book there.
Put it in my big book there. Okay.
You know what else? I'm not guaranteeing, but I'm going to tell you that I got a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to beat Colorado.
Oh, Wow, that'd be nice.
I think it's going to be...
Where did that come from?
No matter what happens this weekend, I just feel like that's...
It's in your bones?
No, my bones. I think it's like a chance to feel like for the team, the players to really get up for this game. I mean, because they hear all the hype about Colorado, and I think they're going to get really up for this game.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already had our one that we shouldn't have lost that we lose. We may have had more than one. But so we're due our one that we shouldn't have won that we win.
I was hoping that was going to be this Saturday.
Well, I'd be all right with it being both because we feel like we gave 2 away that we shouldn't have lost.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll get 2 that we shouldn't win. I feel like our team's that's going to be our really exciting, fun game this year.
Take the fact that it was a conference game versus a non-conference game. Just put them both at an equal level if you could, because Washington State's now a top 25 team. But in all kind of things, you'd rather have the Baylor game back to play again, wouldn't you? Just because of how stinking bad you played for so many different reasons.
Yeah, it's a home game. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I actually picked TCU to win. But once we saw what the 2 teams were, I felt like the Red Raiders were the better football team. But again, I still picked TCU to win heading into last weekend. But felt like one that once you're up 17, that you were going to win.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Those colleges check bars for students, at least they did back in the 90s, Abilene. Caught at a bar meant a visit to the dean. Woo!
All of them?
Viva 73. Jeff, I hate to disagree with you. I lived in Abilene for 13 years. That was the best town I've ever lived in. Do not forget that Cooper is playing Abilene Wiley for a tie for the district championship this Friday night. Yeah. We'll have that game for you from Wiley at 6:30 on 100.7 The Score. I mean, Lubbock Cooper losing on a last play that,
Was it a field goal?
No, it was a touchdown. It's a touchdown, and then they scored a 2-point conversion on them to get the win. That was really disappointing for the Lubbock Coopers on Friday night. But, hey, you got to play the full 48 minutes, right? Or 15. It's 15? I guess full 60. I was thinking 12 minutes, but it's full 60 for football. Yeah, just real disappointing. 8:08 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app for that. Basketball last night. They had a basketball on Broadway. I think is what they called that. And I had a big stage set up, Jamie, and a runway for the players to be introduced on, a flex court. They had some bleachers set up. I got there early enough and at a local watering hole, had a couple of beers, a couple of tacos. Man, it was awesome. And then at the end, they did the swag. They had the swag song. And so Fink and I swagged together. We swagged with the crowd on last night. He asked me if I was going to talk about it. I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah, we swagged.
Good.
We swagged. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and the high schools only play 12 minutes. Okay, 12-minute quarters for the high schools. But yeah, and then it was fun. A lot of an electric atmosphere. And then they had some fireworks that were shot off behind the seal there on campus. So it was fun. If you didn't go, you missed it. If you were there.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.